Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, because we are trying to hit 20,000 before the end of the year. And we're currently sitting on 19,504. So it would be a great honour to me if you did subscribe to the channel. Got that out of the way. It's the first time I've asked people to do that in a long time. So welcome back to the channel. It's a massive day for Celtic fans and Aberdeen fans, because I think everyone knows that today's game is a winner takes all game. It is winner takes all as far as the cup final is concerned, because let's face it, if the Zombies get through, the Rangers get through, it's got an easy game for whoever gets them, isn't it? Motherwell get through. It's a fantastic day out for Motherwell, and ultimately it's either going to be one winner. And that's it's just the way it is in Scottish football just now, because both Aberdeen and Celtic are playing absolute football. Aberdeen will think that they can take Celtic after getting a 2-2 draw in their most recent game, and they can think that they could do the double in a week over the Glasgow 2. But Celtic have other things in mind. But there's a lot of news kicking around this morning, and there was a lot of speculation last night. We did on the last night listen to Brendan Rodgers' interview, and Brendan Rodgers did say that when it comes to picking the team today, that sentiment will not get in the way. Yes, doesn't matter how long you've been here, doesn't matter how long you've played for Celtic, doesn't matter if you've done it before, he will pick the best team he thinks to go out and win the game tonight. My team was Schmeichel, and I went for Cameron Carter-Vickers, Alistair Johnston, which were the solid two at the back. I also, after listening to the manager, I thought he's going to go with Trusty, and I'll tell you exactly why in a minute. So just give me a second to give you the team, and then I'll tell you why I think this will be the team. He goes with Trusty and Alex Baye at the back. He then goes with Callum McGregor in midfield. He goes with Arne Engels, and he goes with... He can't go for Luke McCowan because he's cup tied, is he not? So he will go with Arne Engels and Rio Hatate. He'll go with Dyson Maida, Kuhn, and Keogh go up front. Kuhn and Dyson, they're a must start for this game. I think it'll be a game of get this game to bed if we can. It's a semi-final. You can never really get it to bed, can you? As long as if we get to, hopefully, from a Celtic perspective, if we can get to about the 80th minute, score a couple of goals, and then get some of the players off and rest them for Wednesday night, because we've got a massive game this week in the Champions League. But when it comes to Trusty and Alex Baye, and I'm going to tell you why I think he'll go with those two. In a recent game when Scales was moved to the left back position, when Cameron Carter's came on, he moved Scales out to the left back position, took Alex Baye off, rather than take one of the defenders off. He wanted to make sure that we still had that little bit of solidity at the back with the back four, and he wanted to see Cameron Carter-Vickers ultimately play beside Austin Trusty. I did say at the beginning of the season that that's what the manager will be thinking. He'll be looking at his back two. Ultimately, the powerhouses would be Cameron Carter-Vickers and Austin Trusty. Going by his comments, I mean, he might shock us. Brendan Rodgers may shock us, and he might go for Scales and Greg Taylor, but I don't think he will. Now, I did say in the live last night, and people were saying, well, Alex Baye is not going to be here at the end of the season. Your theory for not playing Greg Taylor because he's not going to be here at the end of the season is kind of null and void. And I said, well, not really, because I think that Greg Taylor will be sold at the next window. He's not signed a new contract for Celtic. The same happened with David Turnbull last season, and I just think that Celtic will go down the same route. If he's going to run down his contract and leave to go to another club, Celtic will want to cash in. They currently value Greg Taylor around about £7 million. So, like Turnbull, he will be sold for about £3 million at the next transfer window. It's the way that the business model is run at Celtic. So give me your team in the comment section. Tell me if I'm talking absolute rubbish this morning, which you may think I am, or you may think that, yeah, you know what, it's probably the strongest team that we have. So tell me your team and tell me your predicted scoreline in the comments section. And Brendan Rodgers also cleared up a little mystery yesterday at his interview. He was asked, as always, he's asked about players that are fit and how's the squad. How's the squad doing, Brendan, and who's fit and who's not. One player that he did talk about, he said there's only real one that's got a niggling injury that's ongoing, and that's Odom Ohm. And I haven't seen Odom Ohm in any capacity really this season. I think he's been on the bench maybe once this season. He's definitely not been on the pitch. And it's a player that has an injury with both calves. Now, to me, if he's got an injury with both calves, he said calves in plural, which was implied that he had an injury with both calves. If he's got an injury with both calves, is that not then a fitness issue? Is that not a fitness issue? I don't know. I'm no medical expert, but my brother does own a gym, and my sister-in-law is a PT in that gym. But I don't know. I mean, somebody can maybe tell us what they think the story is with Odemoum. The fact is that he's not fit and he's not been training with the squad. That was really the only thing that Brendan had to say about the squad going into the game tomorrow. Obviously, everyone else is back fit, and he will pick the best team. Now, in fact, Odemoum played in the friendly against Sligo Rovers, didn't he? That was the last time he played. That time he got injured then. Anyway, Callum McGregor's back, Adam Ida's back, Nico Kuhn is all fully fit for the squad against Aberdeen tonight. There will be a live 1 hour and 15 minutes, maybe about 1 hour and 20 minutes, an hour and a half before the game kicks off. We'll go live so that we can see the team as it is announced by Celtic at Hampden tonight. It's going to be a great game for all the fans travelling down from all around the country. The buses for Celtic will be coming from everywhere as normal, and you'll get all the buses coming down from Aberdeen. No naughtiness at Hart Hill tonight or this afternoon. There generally isn't with Aberdeen fans, isn't there? It's not too bad. It's a case of who hates Rangers more than we do, and it's probably them. But anyway, let's take back into the Celtic news. We'll talk about the predicted lineup. Give me your scoreline in the comment section. I think it's going to be a close game, and I think it's going to be 2-1 to Celtic. When you look at the lineup, Aberdeen are on fire just now. Let's not dismiss Aberdeen. This is one of the closest semi-finals. But then again, it's Hampden. Celtic know how to do it. Bringing Callum McGregor back is maybe a master stroke. People will say, but why bring McGregor back? Put Paulo Bernardo back in that position. Callum McGregor knows how to gets to finals. He knows how to win games. He knows what it takes for a Celtic team. And Brendan Rodgers will say, but Brendan Rodgers says that it doesn't matter how long you've been here or whatever. But when it's your captain and he knows how to win, he knows how to dominate at Hampden, he knows how to manoeuvre the team and I think that's the downside of when Paulo Bernardo played in his position, that he wasn't shouting at players and he wasn't sort of dominating and telling players where to run to and move to. It's where you see Callum doing that in the game. You see him doing that in the game, and people say, but he's not as effective. But I think when you see Callum McGregor is not in that holding midfield role for Celtic, especially at Hampden, especially with a big away crowd, especially with so much it's to get to the final. It's the cup that eluded us last year. It annoyed Brendan and the players last year that they never got to the final. It's one that got away as far as Brendan Rodgers is concerned. Getting beat by Kilmarnock way back, and people were not too impressed with Brendan Rodgers at that time, were they? Right at the beginning of the last season, losing out to Kilmarnock away and being put out of the cup. A lot of people who didn't want Brendan Rodgers to be back at Celtic, well, that gives them nothing but firepower. Today, Brendan Rodgers will see that as, do you know what? I did what I said I would do last season. I'd won the title back. We got a double. We were unlucky to get away from Kilmarnock, getting beat by Kilmarnock away early on in the season. But we were champions. And this season, it's going to be even better. Yes, that title that is at the bottom of this screen. I want this one to change to 21, which hopefully we can do if we can beat Aberdeen tonight. I want this one to change to 43 crops, and then the big one to get to the 55, to then become the most successful team in Scotland. We are already the most successful team in Scotland because we never went into liquidation and died. Yes, they can say that they bought the titles and they can say that they have won 55, but I expect Celtic to go into 55 and 56 and beyond in the next few seasons. Yes, I do expect it to be a Celtic domination period. Sorry, I'm a Celtic fan and I have no apologies for that. It is karma putting out there to the world, especially what they put Celtic fans through in the 1990s, and the fact that Fergus McCann came in, paid the $5 million to the bank, and the rest, they say, is history. Whether it's good or not for Scottish football, well, that's for other people to decide. They are now bemoaning the fact that Scotland's a one-team league and they are part of the others. Yes, they are part of the others. Well, they're not, because Aberdeen has went, hold a minute, you manky mob. Hold a minute. We're second best team in Scotland, whether you like it or not. And I want Dundee United and Motherwell to put more pressure on that squad of them from across the city. But it's not about them. Today is all about Celtic and Aberdeen. Come on, you boys in green. It's going to be a fantastic day in Hampden. There's another story I want to talk about just before we talk about what's happened at Hampden, because there's an ex-Celtic coach. An ex-Celtic coach who has done very well for himself. Yes, he has won the league. Yes, he's won the league. Our former reserve team coach, Damien Duff, remember him, who was absolutely fantastic. He wasn't only reserve team coach, he did good things with our wingers. He's been an Irish champion last night with Shelbourne. So congratulations to Damien Duff. It's all written in the stars for Celtic success and the Irish success this weekend. Just put it out there. Yes, we will win tonight. Anyway, the Aberdeen, they're all talking about how Jimmy can knock Celtic out the cup. And I've seen this interesting article. The Pittodrie faithful have quickly brought into the dream of believing that they can challenge Celtic for a title after humbling Philip Clement's side in midweek to stay level on points with big spending Celtic. Big spending Celtic, who are doing it in the Champions League, not just also in the SPFL. We are in the Champions League, remember that, and Aberdeen need to remind themselves of that. They went on to say in this article, with just 10 league games into it, why deny them a yearning for success? Jimmy's influence on the team has been nothing but remarkable, and it has been, and fair play to the Dons. I mean, I'm bigging up the Dons. I mean, I think that they treated Roy Aitken badly when he went there as manager, and I think they just never got over the fact that he was Celtic captain. But anyway, after many changes, Jimmy is the real deal, they say. He struck at me as a man of humility and clear. He wasn't discouraged or daunted by the fact that Aberdeen has went through so many managers and chewed them up and spat them out over the recent times. It says, after a relatively successful and sustainable 8 years under Derek McInnes, you've got to give Derek McInnes his due. He got them to many, many cup finals against Celtic. He just couldn't do it. Let's just hope the same pain continues. And that's enough about Aberdeen, really, because I want it to be all about Celtic. Tell me your thoughts about who you think the team will be. Tell me what you think the score will be. Tell me where your bus is leaving from. Tell me what bus you're on. Tell me, tag your Celtic Supporters Club in the comments, and we'll give them a shout out tonight. Just killed a mosquito. And we'll give every Celtic Supporters Club that mentions their club bus, the CSC that's travelling to the game, in the comments. I will read them out on the live. And just before the team is announced tonight, what more motivation can you get for that? For getting a big shout out from the One Celtic Fans View for your Celtic Supporters Club tonight. I miss it. I miss it.